So David Tennant inspires hope to all of us in general, but over the weekend, he really did inspire a lot of hope for us Doctor Who fans. So in a recent appearance at Fan Expo in Boston, David Tennant was talking to the audience, and he had a lot of interesting quotes to say about the anniversary of the 60th. I got that in the wrong order.
You see, because we were slightly unfortunate or fortunate in that we were filming some scenes that were in the public, so it had to be admitted that we were in it. So most of what's been filmed with other people has all been inside. So there's lots more coming than people think, which is very exciting.
So what you just watched is a clip from him at the convention speaking, and I think that's really cool. So overall, what this implies is that our little fan worries might have been for nothing. You see, obviously, we as Doctor Who fans have been thinking, well, Matt Smith hasn't been announced yet, Peter Capaldi hasn't been announced yet, therefore, are they actually going to be involved, or is the 60th really just going to be us exploring what happened again in RTD1, which, for an anniversary special, no one really wants? But what these quotes do imply is that, guess what? We haven't seen a lot of what's going on. The idea that we've got characters and cast members coming back that we just have no idea about is really positive news. I mean, Russell kind of hinted that his plan was always he was only going to announce things if he had to. For example, David and Catherine were appearing in public filming the day after they got announced. Therefore, would Russell have announced them if they weren't already being spotted filming? Probably not. Then again, with Yasmin Finney, just announced because. Obviously, Shooty's the only exception, but I think you've got to understand that he's kind of got to announce Shooty, otherwise people will be very worried that the show just isn't going to move forward after the 60th. People are just going to be thinking, well, David Tennant's just coming back. Thanks, RTD. Not that that would irritate me that much. I just quite like David Tennant. So looking forward, what does this mean? Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put a 90% stamp on this. Matt Smith is returning. You know from almost stalking Matt Smith that he has a very similar haircut and was spotted in London whilst filming of Doctor Who was occurring. And I think it would be very easy, even if he just isn't in it for like a long amount of time. I think Matt has always spoken about wanting to come back. I'd be very surprised if RTD doesn't want him back. And I think he knows the fans want him back. And he's coming back. How many times can I say back in a sentence? I also think this makes it more likely that Paul McGann could come back, Peter Capaldi could come back, bloody Colin Baker could come back. Wouldn't even be that opposed to that. It was just, I quite like Colin Baker. This also means that, you know, other side characters can come back. We had a very cryptic tease on Karen Gillan's Instagram where she was basically going, I'm filming something and it isn't TV. Also, we had the classic Georgia Tennant tease where we saw boots that looked like they could be Jenny's boots. And I think what this means is I could go on for years speculating the 54 million characters that could return. What this means is don't lose hope because they haven't been announced yet. Now, one of the other quotes we got from this expo that I do think is worth discussing is another one from David.
And as far as I'm aware, nobody has quite figured out yet what Catherine and I are doing there. I think there's a lot of theory and a lot of speculation, but I'm very excited for people to see the tiny little cog that we are in Russell's great machine.
Now, I have to admit, this is where I'm going to give my own little spin on things. A lot of people have been saying that this means that David Tennant isn't actually involved that much in these specials, and maybe this means that Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi have been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes filming, and it's actually a very even split. Now, yes, it might be more than a cameo or an extended cameo for a lot of the other Doctors, but I think David Tennant is still leading the specials. You can understand why Russell was gone with David, because obviously he worked with him the most, but it's all the leaks that have happened and the fact that David has been the only one spotted doing outside filming. I think it's a wrong take to go that this quote means that David is a tiny cog in it. I think it implies that the characters that are showing up are going to be more than cameos and probably quite involved in the plot. But say that David is going to be leading the 60th, I still think is the correct way this is going to go. If I was to predict it, I would say that 3 specials across the year is probably still going to be correct, with David likely leading the first 2, and then something you'd expect from a classic anniversary episode on specifically November 23rd, with big players like hopefully Matt Smith, hopefully Capaldi, hopefully McGann, all those characters hopefully involved in that sort of special on November 23rd. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below your theories. And if you want to see if I think David is going to be the 10th Doctor or the 14th Doctor in the new series of specials, you can click the video here.